So I don't know if any of you have seen this. I thought this would be fun to maybe do live, maybe not. I know I don't get a lot of people watching me live, but it's fun to do. I thought since it was a brand new year, and what's this guy's name? I saw this on his page, his channel, Sargon of Akkad. Oh my God, dog! Jesus. Anybody want a Shih Tzu Beagle? So anyway, I thought it'd be fun to take this political compass test. I mean, I feel like I'm a libertarian. I've always said I was a libertarian. I've actually made videos on this similar thing. I have, as a matter of fact, maybe while I'm waiting on people to show up, if anybody wants to show up, I thought it would be fun to help take this test online. I would go to YouTube and then go to my channel, or let's see, Creator Studio, and go to Video Manager. What did I call this? I think I called it my filter, my personal filter, what did I call it? Here, my personal values filter. This was back in 2013, and I'm not going to play it. I just wanted to show you that I've kind of done this. I was doing a series on liberalism, and one of the part 5 was I made a video about a filter that I came up with. It's basically this like a graph you can see here, and it basically had all the issues down the left hand side, and then you kind of chose where you stood. Anyway, I didn't want to go too far into that, but I was just letting you know that I've kind of looked at this before, and way back when, I've always been kind of a fan of politics, and I thought I'd just flip back and forth here to make sure there may not be any questions. So I thought it'd be fun to do this, and I just came to the website and clicked on take the test. So here's part 106. And the first question is, if economic globalization is inevitable, it should primarily serve humanity rather than the interest of transnational corporations. Well, there's kind of a contradiction there. Globalization is means that transnational companies basically serve themselves. So if I'm looking at the strict definition of this, it should primarily serve humanity is a contradiction, so I disagree. I'd always support my country whether it was right or wrong. Well, I disagree with that. Your country needs to be right. I guess right and wrong are subjective, but I have to fall somewhere there on that spectrum. No one chooses his or her country of birth, so it's foolish to be proud of it. Excuse me, figured I'd get a frog in my throat. Throat? I sound like Allie, my daughter, my autistic daughter. I got a frog in my throat, Daddy. Anyway, so it's not foolish to be proud of your country, so I disagree. No one chooses his or her country, so it's foolish. No, I disagree with that. Our race has many superior qualities compared with other races. What race are they talking about? We're all the human race, so I have to disagree with that. The enemy of my enemy is my friend. Let's see. I guess technically I have to agree with that. Military action that defies international law is sometimes justified. Well, yes, I would have to agree with that. I guess I can't go into explaining every one of these answers, but I guess I should slow down. Cam, I'll definitely take this test myself. Yeah, it should be fun. Um, there is now a worrying fusion of information and entertainment. So I guess you got to look at keywords. Worrying. Am I worried about the fusion of information and entertainment? I'm not worried about it. There's now a worrying. No, I disagree. Information and entertainment, it is what it is. I don't get worried about it. This is test 2 of 6. People are ultimately divided more by class than nationality. I think generally that's probably true. People are ultimately divided more by class. I have to agree with that. Control. Now, I guess some of these are, what do you think the state of society is, not necessarily whether you agree with it or not. So that's sort of the gray area, I guess, here. Controlling inflation is more important than controlling unemployment. Controlling inflation is more important than controlling unemployment. The only way you can control inflation is to dicker around with interest rates. The federal, I think this is inferring, is it more important for the federal government to experiment with the economy than controlling unemployment? I guess this is trying to be sort of a moral question. I don't know. Controlling. I was kind of hoping not to get stuck on any of these. Let's see. Is more important than controlling, because you're supposed to just, I think, kind of do your knee-jerk reaction, not think about it too much to get your true test here. I'm going to disagree that. Well, let's see. Controlling inflation. I guess if you were truly able to control inflation some magical way, then you would be able to influence. So we'll say, I don't know, let's agree on that one. Because corporations cannot be trusted to voluntarily protect the environment, they require regulation. I disagree. Regulation is the enemy. From each according to his ability, to each according to his own need, is a fundamentally good idea. From each according to his ability, to each according to his need. I guess I have to agree. It's sad. It's a sad reflection of our society that something as basic as drinking water is now bottled. It's not sad, I don't think. I disagree with that. Land shouldn't be a commodity to be bought and sold. Shouldn't be. I disagree. It should be. Land shouldn't be. I disagree. Land shouldn't be. I have to make sure I read these correctly. Is it regrettable that many personal fortunes are made by people who simply manipulate money and contribute nothing to society? No. It's not regrettable. I don't regret it. Again, I'm looking at keywords. I don't regret it. It has no effect on me. Protectionism is sometimes necessary in trade. Yeah, it is. If it is. It just is. I have to agree with that. The only, I think there's you can't take too much time on each answer because it's 6 pages, so I'm not going to try to justify every answer here. I'll just try to be as honest as I can, and I think to do that I have to go quickly. The only social responsibility of a company should be to deliver a profit to its shareholders. The only social responsibility. Well, again, this is a contradiction because companies do not have social responsibilities. The only Okay, so it should read the only responsibility a company has is to deliver profit to its shareholders. And so the only social responsibility, these are tricky questions because companies don't have social responsibilities. The only social responsibilities of a company. So I guess I have to disagree. The rich are too highly taxed. Yes, I agree. I know that's gonna blow your mind, but yes, everyone is highly taxed. Everyone is too highly taxed. That's the way that should read. Those with the ability to pay should have access to higher standards of medical care. Higher standards? Those with the ability to pay should have access to higher standards. No, I guess I disagree with that. I'm a compassionate conservative. Government should penalize businesses that mislead the public. No, I disagree. No penalties. If you mislead the public, you should pay in the free market. The free market will take care of you, or not take care of you. A genuine free market, here we go, requires restrictions on the ability of predator multinationals to create monopolies. The genuine free market requires restrictions on the ability of predator to create monopolies. A genuine free market requires restrictions. No. So you have to look at key phrases. A genuine free market requires restrictions. No, I disagree. On the ability of predator. Okay, so a lot of these questions are kind of contradictory, and you just have to kind of pick the first half or the second half of the question to disagree with or agree with. The freer the market, the freer the people. Yes, I strongly agree. That's an easy one. Okay, so page 3. Abortion, when the woman's life is not threatened, should always be illegal. I disagree. Abortion, when the woman's life is not threatened, should always be illegal. Should always be illegal is the key phrase there. Disagree. All authority should be questioned. All authority should be questioned. I guess I have to agree on that one. I would just say in general, authority should be questioned. All is kind of a strong word, but an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. I think we're past the Old Testament into the New Testament, so I'm going to disagree. Taxpayers should not be expected to prop up theaters or museums that cannot survive. I'm going to have to agree with that. Taxpayers should not be expected to prop up. Yes, I agree. Schools should not make classroom attendance compulsory. Well, should not. I disagree with that. If you are an institution of learning, you can make attending class compulsory. That's what you're there to do. You're there to attend class, so it should be compulsory. All people have their rights, but it's better for all of us that different sorts of people should keep to their own kind. What? What kind of question or statement? All people have their rights, but it's better for all of us that different sorts of people should keep to their own kind. Well, I guess there's really not much. This is sort of kind of a race baiting question, but anyway, I have to kind of disagree with that. I think you can keep to your own kind if you want to, but when it says should keep to their own kind, I think I have to disagree. Anyway, good parents sometimes have to spank their children. Now, this is a weird one because I never spanked my child Good parents sometimes have to spank their children. I'm going to disagree because I never spank my children, and they're all three perfect. It's natural for children to keep some secrets from their parents. I think that's a true statement. It's natural. Yeah, I agree. My tongue's getting tired. Processing marijuana. Oh, processing. That would be a big difference, wouldn't it? Possessing marijuana for personal use should not be a criminal offense. Possessing for personal use. Agree. The primary function of schooling should be to equip the future generations to find jobs. I actually went to a vocational school when I was in high school, but I did it by choice. I don't think that is the primary function of schools, so I'm going to have to disagree. I think it should be a choice, and that's kind of different from what it's actually asking or stating. I think this, I just have to disagree. My knee-jerk reaction, again, I think this is the purpose of this, to kind of get your knee-jerk reaction, and that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to stay true, because I think if you think about this too much, you're going to be thinking about the answer a little too much. People with serious inheritable disabilities should not be allowed to reproduce. That is mean, okay? People with serious inheritable disabilities should not. I think that's you can't allow. Again, the word here is allowed to. That's just wrong. We can't get into allowing or disallowing people to reproduce. The most important thing for children to learn is to accept discipline. Okay, so here's an authoritarian question. The most important thing for children to learn is accept discipline. I think the most important thing for children to learn is to the golden rule, to treat others as if they would treat as they would want to be treated. So I'm going to have to disagree. There are no savage and civilized peoples. There are only different cultures. There are no savage and civilized peoples. There are only different cultures. What does that mean? I think I have to disagree. My knee-jerk says I have to disagree with that. I think they're trying to get you to admit you're some kind of bigot here. There are only different cultures. There are no savage. Okay, so there are savages and civilized. There are no savage and civilized people. That's just odd. Some of this stuff just contradicts itself in the same sentence. Those who are able to work and refuse the opportunity should not expect society support. Those who are able to work and refuse the opportunity, yes, I agree. Those who are able to work and refuse the opportunity, yes, I agree. If you are able to work and you have an opportunity, you should work. When you are troubled, it is better not to think about it, but to keep busy with more cheerful things. I agree with that in general. Am I reading it correctly? Some of these seem like trick questions. First generation immigrants can never be fully integrated within their new country. Well, I think this is sort of dependent on the immigrant. First generation immigrants can never be fully integrated. I think you have to assume here that the immigrant is ignorant, and if you're going to say this, and I'm not going to assume that. I'm going to disagree. I think first generation immigrants can fully integrate if they want to. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. What's good for the most successful corporations is always ultimately good for all of us. What's good for the most successful corporations is always ultimately good for, I guess, disagree. If you if you're successful at creating the best, gas for warfare, does that mean that it's good for all of us? So anyway, no broadcasting institution, however independent its content, should receive public funding. I agree with this. I agree. If you're that successful, you shouldn't need funding. You can sell advertising. All right, 4 of 6. We're getting there. Our civil liberties are being excessively curbed in the name of counterterrorism. I would probably agree with that. I was not a big fan of the Bush era. Some of the policies set in place to spy on normal Americans, everyday Americans, so I have to agree with that. A significant advantage of a one-party state is that it avoids all the arguments that delay progress in a democratic political system. An advantage of a one-party state, okay, and this is where you would maybe agree with the statement, like an advantage, obviously a one-party state would be an advantage if it avoids all the arguments that delay progress. But I disagree with the one-party state. So, do I disagree, or do I agree based on the literal verbiage? If you're the one that wants the one-party state, then it would be advantage. It would be an advantage. I don't know. I'm going to disagree. I feel like I should disagree with that. Although the electronic age makes official surveillance easier, only wrongdoers need to be worried. Well, I disagree. All people should be worried about surveillance. The death penalty should be an option for most serious crimes. Now, this is probably where I'm going to get myself out of the libertarian bunch, because I do agree that that for the most serious crimes, the death penalty should be an option. I didn't say it should be. It doesn't say arbitrary. It says, or not arbitrary or mandatory. It says an option. So, in that literal sense, I agree. In a civilized society, one must always have people above, to be obeyed and people below to be commanded. Well, that just sounds weird, so I'm going to disagree. Civilized society. In a civilized society, people wouldn't be above or below each other, so I disagree. Abstract art that doesn't represent anything shouldn't be considered art at all. Well, that's just weird, because some of this is just weird, because art is the most subjective thing there is. So abstract art that doesn't represent anything, I think some of this is just testing your intelligence, so shouldn't be considered. I disagree. In criminal justice, punishment should be more important than rehabilitation. Take a break here to see if anybody's got any questions. Okay, so in criminal justice, punishment should be more important than rehabilitation. I'm going to say rehabilitation is more important. So in criminal justice, punishment should be more important. I disagree. I think if we rehabilitated more people, then we'd be better off. It is a waste of time to try to rehabilitate some criminals. This is like those tests you took in junior high where the answer was in the next question. It is a waste of time. No, I disagree. Let's see. Criminal punishment should be more important. No. Is it a waste of time to try to rehabilitate some criminals? No. Wait. Is it a waste of time? No, I disagree. They should be yes or no questions. Is it a waste of time to try to rehabilitate. No. Okay. The business person and the manufacturer are more important than the writer and the artist. No, I disagree. All right. So, in art and in a civilized culture, all these people are equal. Okay, and we were born equal, so you can't say one is more important than the other. Mothers may have careers, but their first duty is to be homemakers. No, disagree. Their first duty is to be themselves and take care of, if they have children, take care of their children, but they can be a good mother and not be a good homemaker if they want to. So, multinational companies are unethically exploiting the plant genetic. Some of this is that I've been reading all day and my eyes are tired, so I have to kind of close my eyes and refocus here for a second. Multinational companies are unethically exploiting the plant genetic resources of developing countries. I don't know that. Is that true? If they are, I guess it is unethical. But I'm going to disagree because I'm a capitalist, and I would say it's probably hard to exploit the entire resources of a country. So I'm going to say I'm going to disagree. Making peace with the establishment is an important aspect of maturity. Oh, this is a trick question. Making peace is good, but with the establishment is an important. That's the trick part. So I'm going to disagree. All right. Next. Anybody watching? Okay. Page 5 of 6. We're getting close. Astrology accurately explains many things. No. Astrology is for soothsayers. Astronomy accurately explains many things, but not astrology. You cannot be moral without being religious. You cannot be moral without being religious. You cannot be. Oh, of course you can't. I say so. I'm supposed to disagree. Okay, so yeah, I mean you can be moral. You can be a moral person because I think our Creator. I'm going to be religious in saying this, but I think our Creator instilled morals into our DNA. So you can be moral without being religious. You're just acting on your instincts that your Creator gave you. Ha ha. Got through that one, didn't I? Charity is better than Social Security as a means of helping the genuinely disadvantaged. Charity is better than Social Security. I'm going to say I agree. Anything's better than. The only thing is you paid. Again, these are trick questions. I don't have any comments. Nobody's helping me here. Social Security is something that you paid in to yourself, to government. So that's your money. So it's kind of a trick question. I know what they're trying to do. They're trying to get you to say, is charity better than government assistance? But if you look at it to the nth degree, the Social Security money that you paid in should be given back to you. So charity, yes, is better. So I have to stay with that, I guess. But some of these questions need to be looked at by these people because they need to look at what they're asking. A lot of this is contradictory. Some people are naturally unlucky. I guess I have to agree. Sometimes I feel like I'm naturally unlucky. It is important that my child's school instills religious values. No, strongly disagree. I haven't really paid attention to strongly disagree or agree, but on this one, no, I don't want the school teaching my kid religion. It will always be some weird, it will end up being like atheism or something. So, page 6, finally. If you made this far, thank you. Sex outside marriage is usually immoral. Usually immoral? What does that mean? It either is immoral or it isn't. What? See, some of this is they're trying to vary the question so you will vary your answer, and I kind of get that, but you either believe it is immoral or not. It's not usually. What does that mean? Usually immoral. Usually, if I'm married, let's see, outside of marriage is immoral. Sex is usually immoral. Sex outside of marriage. Okay, it didn't say. I'm gonna disagree. Sex outside of marriage is immoral. No, I'm gonna have to disagree. Sorry. It didn't say sex with outside of. Okay, it didn't say if you were married is sex outside of marriage. Anyway, I'm belaboring that. Move on. A same-sex couple in a stable, loving relationship should not be excluded from the possibility of child adoption. I agree. And the key phrase here is stable, loving, stable and loving. They can do it. If they are stable and loving, they can adopt a child easily. Pornography depicting consenting adults should be illegal for adult population. Well, because I am a libertarian, I have to agree. I think pornography can be destructive, but that's really that's just something that's being judgmental, and I think basically I agree with that statement. What goes on in a private bedroom between consenting adults is no business of the state. I strongly agree. No one can feel naturally homosexual. No one can feel naturally. Again, some of these questions are, whoever came up with these are funny because feel naturally. So a person who is kind of a homophobe would say no, but an objective person would say no one. I would say that you probably can naturally feel it so no one can feel. So I'm going to have to disagree with that. No one can feel. I feel that you can. It doesn't mean that you are, but you can feel just about anything you want to feel if you don't have control of your emotions. So there you go. These days, openness about sex has gone too far. These days, openness about sex has gone too far. I don't know. I disagree. So am I done? Okay. Anybody still watching? Was anybody? Patriot in the Dark. It said sex while not being married, I think, is a better. Yeah, I kept thinking it was saying if you were married, is sex outside of marriage, but I kind of got it. I think they're asking if you are not married, is sex okay? And of course, I've taught my children that it's better to wait till you're married, but I'm not going to condemn them or judge them because I would have to judge myself. So then you come to this page, it says about political compass. You come down and what is this? It kind of gives you the chart, and then you come down here and what is this? Oh, this is interesting. It talks about, let's see if I can zoom in. It talks about how different people in history have fallen on the scale. You got Stalin up here in the authoritarian left. He's a fascist leftist. Hitler, Thatcher. Well, that's surprising. I guess not too surprising. Thatcher, Friedman, and then Gandhi. That all looks normal or typical. Now you scroll down. What does it say? Okay, here's your political compass. And so, okay, so I fall closer to the middle than I thought. But libertarian, sort of the right side of libertarianism, which I always, I kind of assumed I would be more towards the middle of the right, but it looks like I'm on the left of the right. So I think that's pretty interesting. Again, it's only like, 36, how many questions? 40 questions. So it's not like it can gain your entire, let me zoom back out here a little bit. Let's see, after you take the test, you will be presented with a link which you can take, go straight to the certificate page. That a baby. And so here you can put your name in, Artisan Tony. That'll be fun. Economic, social, get printable certificate. Oh, that's funny. So you get to print out your certificate here, and I'm trying to zoom in to see who these people are. There's Joseph Stalin. Who are these other people? Oh, Fidel Castro. And that's, what's his name? Mao Zedong or whatever. Or is that, who is that? Yeah, Mao Zedong. Whatever his Chinese name was. And over here you've got, who are these? Donald Trump. That's funny. What does this say? I can't read this. They need to make this more legible. Hillary Clinton. How's Hillary Clinton up there? That's weird. I would have thought she would have been over here with these other leftists. She's an authoritarian, I guess. I think this is probably inaccurate for Hillary. I think they're giving her too much credit. I think she should be over here with Fidel. There's Winston Churchill. Who's this? Oh, Angela Merkel. Who is this guy? I honestly can't read some of these names because it's just done in that old script and I can't read it. There's Friedman. There's Ayn Rand. Who is this guy? What's over here? I literally can't read these. Let's see if I can recognize some of the. Oh, there's Mandela. Is that Mandela? Right here? And who is this? Oh well. That's if there's a criticism of this, they need to make these names more legible. But anyway, I just thought that would be fun to do, and you should make your own video of taking this political compass, and then maybe at the end of the year check it again. Let's see. Alright guys, I didn't want it to be too long of a video. It's already 39 minutes, and so I appreciate everybody watching.